Welcome to Tekla Structure's online masonry tutorials. The Tekla Structure masonry tutorials provide an introduction to tools for creating concrete masonry structures. Topics of discussion include how the tools work, their use, application, and best practices. These tutorials are considered to be at a basic to intermediate skill level. It is important to note they are built upon a common foundation. The masonry tools and workflows utilize the basic tools and concepts used for any type of modeling in Tekla structures, borrowing from many cast-in-place concrete modeling best practices. Users with basic previous experience in Tekla structures should have no issue following along. However, if this is not the case, or if you are new to Tekla structures, it is recommended that you complete the fundamentals training before proceeding with these videos, as they are considered to be the prerequisite to this content. Feel free to reach out to your account manager for more information. Introduction topics include download and installation of the masonry tools, an overview and scope of the tools, create and adjust a new model for use for the remainder of the lessons, to install the masonry tools, we'll need to start Tekla structures and create a new model. We will name the model modeling_tutorials. We will then open the Tekla structures warehouse from inside Tekla structures software. We will search for and download the CMU tools. We will install the CMU tools through the extension manager, which is found in the Applications and Components menu. To begin, open Tekla structures, choose the Imperial Cast-in-Place role and the construction modeling configuration. When the splash screen has loaded, go ahead to the New tab and provide a new model name called Masonry_Tutorials. Place it in a location that is applicable to you, and then ensure to choose the Cast-in-Place rebar detailing template. Go ahead and hit the Create button. Once the model has opened, we can go ahead and open the three-dimensional view and close the Views dialog box. From here, we are going to access the Tekla Structures warehouse, and there are two methods in which we can do so. First, we can go to the File menu, then select Extend, and then Tekla Structures Warehouse. This will open up Tekla Structures Warehouse in your web browser. Alternatively, we can use the search function up at the top right to search for the warehouse and click that link as well. It'll bring us to warehouse.tekla.com, so if you don't have Tekla structures open, you can go straight there from your web browser. Now that we are on the home page, we need to search for the CMU tools. In the search bar, go ahead and type CMU tools. This will bring up two options, the CMU tools and the SketchUp blocks for CMU tools. We are more concerned with the CMU tools in and of themselves, as they will also install the masonry units we need to use with them. The SketchUp blocks are there for use for users who may not have them in their current library. First, we'll need to ensure we're logged in with our Trimble ID. And once we're logged in, we can go ahead and look at the details of the tools and look at the different versions available. By default, you're typically going to want the most up-to-date version. Now, if we're unsure what is compatible with, we can come down here and look at more information. It shows us the operating systems, software, versions of software, and measurements of unit compatible. If it agrees with what we need, we can go ahead and click the download button and hit continue. Once you've downloaded them, you'll find them in your downloads folder on your system or wherever you specified. Make a note of this location, as we will need to navigate to it here in just a moment. Now, let's go back to Tekla Structures. And we're going to go to the right side pane and open up the Applications and Components pane. From the menu button up at the top right, we're going to select Manage Extensions and then Extension Manager. This will provide us with a dialog box in which we can actually install the CMU tools we have just downloaded from the warehouse. As you can see here, there's a long list of components already installed. We simply need to click the Import button down at the bottom left and navigate to where we have downloaded the CMU tools. Select them and hit Open. Acknowledge and accept the dialog box, and notice that we now see the CMU tools listed, and it tells us that we need to restart to finalize the import. So let's close that dialog box, save our model, and then we can go ahead and proceed to close Tekla Structures and reopen it. When we restart Tekla Structures, the installation of the CMU tools will begin very briefly. and then the software will start as normal. Go ahead and select our previous Masonry Tutorials model and open. In this section, we will define the purpose of the Masonry tools, as well as provide a brief overview of what tools are available and their general function. Once the CMU tools are installed, we'll navigate to the Applications and Components side pane, drop down the Concrete submenu, and then CMU Tools. There are 7 tools available. Generally speaking, the masonry tools expedite the placement of masonry units and associated features such as end conditions, bomb beams, lintels, basic reinforcement, and block tagging. They allow for manipulation of multiple parts at once, and allow users to model and edit masonry in withe, coarse, or block levels. They do not, however, eliminate the need to use concrete, rebar, or editing tools native to Tekla structures, and should be used in tandem with these other tools. The CMU tool allows users to place single blocks and tag it with specific information that correlates to the same features found in the CMU wall tool. The CMU corner connection tool allows users to quickly connect 2 perpendicular walls to create a seamless 90-degree corner. The CMU drawing creator is a dialog box that expedites the creation of general arrangement drawings using specific masonry settings. The CMU wall tool allows users to create walls of many masonry units at once with varying spacing, block size, end conditions, bond beams, reinforcement, as well as other features. The CMU wall opening tool allows us to create quick and clean openings with either arches or square for windows, doors, and blockouts. The CMU wall swap handles tool allows users to quickly change the direction of a wall after it is placed, changing both the start and end positions. The CMU wall update tool allows users to refresh the configuration of the walls that they have placed already when making edits and changes. Okay, let's go ahead and adjust our model for the lessons ahead. Open up the Properties side pane and select our grid. We are going to change the grid's configuration as shown here on screen. We will do 2 bays of 21 foot 8 inches in the X coordinate, 4 bays of 16 foot 10 inches in the Y coordinate, and then we will have 4 elevations at 4 foot increments each, ranging from 0 elevation to 16 foot elevation. Ensure to adjust your grid labels as shown here on the screen, and once you do, go ahead and make sure to hit the Modify button down at the bottom left of the Properties pane. Once we have completed the changes, use Ctrl-P to snap to the plane and select the grid, and we're going to go ahead and make another copy of it. Once selected, right-click and select Copy. Pick your base point, and ensure orthographic snapping is turned on. If it is not, you can turn it on by either hitting Ctrl-O on your keyboard, or you can go to File, Settings, and check off the box next to Ortho. Once you do, project to the right, but key in 100 feet as opposed to clicking, and then hit Enter, and it'll duplicate the grid for us. From here, select the new grid, and then go ahead and change it to a color of your choice to make it visually distinct from the first one, and then hit Modify. Now we'll go ahead and double-click in the empty space, bring up our view properties, and change our view depth to 20 feet and down to 5 feet. Now we will right-click, and then we will fit work area to the entire model. And now we will go ahead and proceed to create our additional views. We will select the first grid we created, right-click, and then hit Create Views along grid lines. We won't make any changes, just to ensure to hit the Create button while selecting the grid in the model, and the views will populate in your view list on the left-hand side. Let's take a few moments to go ahead and discuss a couple of options available for additional resources. Tekla User Assistance provides documentation on all things Tekla structures, whether it be the masonry tools or anything else. So to access it is pretty easy. And in fact, in Tekla structures, we can go ahead and go up to the File menu, then click Help, and then click Tekla User Assistance at the top. This will open up the Tekla User Assistance dialog box, in which you can see we have links for product guides, support articles, tutorials, and help on extensions. Additionally, at the top of the page we have the search function. If we search for concrete masonry units, for example, we can see the results pop up very quickly. We have links to the CMU, CMU Tools, and CMU Wall Tools. If we look at the CMU Wall tool, we can see here that there is documentation on the dialog box of the tool in and of itself, explaining what each field does. You can always reference these pages if you need assistance. Additionally, if you have an extension or tool open, you can actually click the Help button at the top right of the dialog box to bring up the Tekla User Assistance window as previously shown via the other method. It's the same interface, except this time it will take you directly to the parent page, in this case CMU Tools, and from here we can use the contents links to find out more information of the specific tool we desire. Lastly, you can always access the TUA via your web browser by going to teklastructures.support.tekla.com. It's the same interface we've just seen through the web portal in Tekla Structures in and of itself and provides the same exact functionality. If your questions or concerns cannot be answered through the TUA, make sure to reach out to our help desk. You can contact them by email, phone, or directly through Tekla Structures. This concludes Tekla Structures Masonry Tools Introduction. Please proceed to Lesson 1, Masonry Tool Basics.